My name is Tim Arnold. I'm the Director of Stuff and Things here at the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. I started out with pinball machines when I was about 14 years old. Bought one from a local guy at the pizza parlor. Me and a couple friends got together, pooled $160 and bought a pinball machine. We just kept buying pinball machines because we were fascinated by them. And the math was real good. You could buy a machine for between $100 and $200 and it would make $20 a week. I was at one point in college for 2 years and I decided I was going to take one term off and try being a pinball pirate, and I sailed off into the sunset and never looked back. I started out back in Michigan, and I got real sick of the arcade business in the late 80s because the games started to change from the fun kind of games like Pac-Man and pinball machines and air hockey. It started to change to violent video games where there was kung fu and fighting, and so I decided that I'd had enough of that. I just wanted to go back to a simpler kind of game, and I took all the old machines that I'd accumulated over the years, loaded them in trucks and moved them west to where the climate was warm and dry, and it was a major tourist destination, which is Las Vegas. Well, you can see, and I guess you could learn if you want to, but mainly what you can do is actually play, because this isn't a stuffy kind of boring museum. It's a hands-on, all these games work. You actually put coins in them. So it's not like you're wandering around just looking at it and studying the art. You get to actually play them. And each machine has been painstakingly rebuilt completely from the ground up. So what you're getting is as close to the experience of that game being new as we could make it. The new bumpers, new flippers, all the light bulbs work. We're really trying to give you a top-notch product here. So you're coming in, you're playing games, and yeah, I guess if you want to, you can learn a few things. I don't think this project would work in any other town. There's 2 million people that live in Las Vegas, but there's a couple 100,000 people that constantly turn over in Vegas. Every week you've got a new population that wants to come out and play pinball.
My name's Mark Kendall of Canton, Ohio. Come out here to Vegas to play a few games. We've seen this in magazines, so we thought we'd come out tonight. There's games here I haven't seen since I was a kid. I used to play some of these games in the 60s in high school. So it's really entertaining. Brings back a lot of good memories. Excellent.
I need to be here again because the tourists come, and that's what allows us to do what we do. The locals will only provide you with so many quarters. You really need the added boost you get from tourists who come to town. We're a not-for-profit corporation. We're technically a social club, like the Kiwanis or the Lions Club. We joke around that we're the social club that has no social skills because we're all a bunch of AV geeks. What we do is we pay the rent and the light bill. None of us here are paid anything. No one gets a salary, no one gets insurance. We don't get a car allowance. We don't get uniforms. We don't go on trips to Puerto Vallarta. It's all 100% volunteer organization. And at the end of the month, what we have left over is either used to pay down the debt at the new building or given to local charities. We've given away over $600,000 over the years to local social service charities. We've actually done quite well just by keeping our head down and keeping it real simple. Okay, this one here is a real unique game. They only made 2 copies of this machine. It was an engineering sample. They were planning on building it, and then because of the costs involved and a bunch of internal politics, it kept getting pushed back in the schedule, and then the factory quit making pinball machines, and the 2 machines that were left, one ended up in the president of the company's basement, and the other one landed out here in Las Vegas at the Pinball Museum. It's got actually 4 different play fields, and you have to shoot the ball from the first play field up to the second play field into the elephant's snout. Then the elephant's snout tips it back and delivers it to the giraffe, which brings it back and puts it in the clown's brain. So it's really a complicated, really fascinating machine, and this is literally the only place in the world you can play this machine. Anybody that ever vacationed on the Jersey Shore in Florida probably remembers baseball games like this. We call them pitch and bat games because the instructions are real simple. You got a pitch button and a bat button. And the idea is to hit the little ball up into the double, triple, home run slots and avoid the out slots. Seems real simple, but it's a fascinating game. And they literally made 2 or 3 of these every year for about 30 years. So there's a whole bunch of different variations on it. But people love baseball, and we've got lots of games like this here at the Pinball Hall of Fame. This machine here is a combination of a video game and a pinball machine. It's got a video screen that bounces down onto the pinball glass and the reflection comes back into your eye so that you can actually play pinball while little Martian characters are interacting with the ball. So it's a real fascinating way to combine pinball with video actually in the same space. It looks like kind of like a hologram effect. This is a very popular game. Unfortunately, it was also the last game the factory made before they quit making pinball machines. So it was kind of their last hurrah. This machine here is called a bingo machine. If you'll look, there's a bingo-like card on the back glass, and on the playfield what you have is 25 holes, and you'll notice there's no flippers, so there's no way to control the ball. The only thing you do is shoot the ball and hope it lands in certain holes, and if you make certain combinations on the card in the back glass, you would win 20, 30, 100, 500 replays. And then the trick was to make it a gambling device. You could tell the bartender you wanted to cash out. He would remove the credits and give you a nickel for each credit. So what it is actually a slot machine disguised as a pinball machine. There's many people that'll see this and remember these games. They used to be everywhere. You can tell the era of the machine based on the style of the artwork. This machine was definitely influenced by the Jetsons and the 60s. You can see that there's scantily clad women wearing space helmets and driving around in a spaceship. I think this is the ultimate male fantasy, is to have everything that's on this pinball machine is what men want. This is one of the original iron claw machines. Again, anybody that grew up on the East Coast playing in the Jersey Shore in Florida remembers these games. You control a crane mechanism with a knob on the front. Then what you do is you put your coin in and the little arm comes down and you try to grab a prize. Oh, oh! And just like that, you're a winner. I won myself an 8-cent piece of crap. We have a few video games here at the Pinball Hall of Fame. None of the new violent video games. Some of the classics like the Pac-Man, the Space Invaders, the Donkey Kong, kind of old school video games. Here's one everybody's going to remember, Ms. Pac-Man. If you took all the pinball machines produced between 1950 and 1965, they wouldn't equal the production of Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man. It shows you how many video games they made in the 80s and how few pinball machines they made in the 50s and 60s. Here's a Donkey Kong machine right over here. This is the actual Donkey Kong machine that they set the world's record on. The guy actually played it for like 2 days straight without sleeping. So yeah, that's a kind of a quick tour of some of the most interesting games here at the Pinball Hall of Fame. And if you're coming to Vegas, I really encourage everybody to come on over. You'll really enjoy playing pinball again. I'm Tim Arnold at the Pinball Hall of Fame, and this is Unique Las Vegas.